Right. That's quite a nice spawn. Yeah. Yeah, he's only got one animal, right? So that limits him, because archers seem quite important in a matchup with defenders. Oh no, he's got two animals, sorry. So it looks... well, that could be it. Let's see. Yeah, after the last game, definitely too early to say, but that's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Especially since his defender's now on the wrong side. So it's not great. Oh, climbing, interesting. With 12 stars, I thought maybe he'd go for upgrade and then archery. I think he was looking for ruins to save this.
Can someone deafen me? Thanks.
Yeah, and it's in a good spot. No, I don't know whether he'll explore the north to see whether there are any ruins up there. Getting organisation is pretty rough, because organisation leads to nothing, whereas at least hunting leads to archery. And obviously forestry. No. Interesting he's hit there. See. Yeah, I feel like DetectiveDumb really has the initiative here, because he's got riders out. It's going to be difficult for Chris to make anything other than defenders, because anything he makes is going to get beaten down. I think making a defender in his second city last term is potentially a mistake. I think he might have needed a warrior there. Yes, unless there's another rider lurking somewhere, but it probably would have been enough, and it would have enabled him to sort of fight back a bit. Whereas with a load of defenders, you can't kill anything. So now he's is probably just a slow death. Yeah. Yeah, pretty rough losing. Seeing an enemy defender sit on the contested seat in the contested first village. Detective can bounce there and capture it now. So I guess Chris has noticed he can level both cities with hunting and org. but he doesn't have the units to kill any of Detective Dumb's units if he plonks them on top of the resources. So Detective Dumb could put a unit on top of one of each of the resources and effectively stop him from grading. That's interesting. Does he have another rider? Can he siege? No. So he didn't bounce onto the village, which is interesting. Maybe he can threaten. Maybe if Chris kills his warrior, then he has a third unit somewhere in the clouds to threaten siege. It looks like Detective only has 2 cities too, so they're actually relatively equal at the moment. It's also interesting he didn't make a rider on his second city because he could have threatened sieging if he had, and I'm not sure why he attacked. It's interesting. So he can still bounce with his rider off that mountain warrior and into the village if he wants to next turn. But then Chris could siege it with the defender in 2 turns' time. So but Chris will be able to siege that with his defender. Yeah, I mean next turn he'll be able to siege it. Oh, he got riding, which is interesting. I might have thought about archery there. Yeah, he has hunting. And with these defenders, you can really threaten some sieges because if you attack a warrior twice and then siege with the defender, it's pretty tough to unsiege. No, I'm bad at you. You can tell that I'm not a bullet expert. I'm pretty bad at predicting these. I never play anything smaller than large. So
What was your prediction?
my prediction was that when Detective beat Chris to the second village on turn 3, that he would easily win the game, and especially as the game progressed, Chris was only making defenders, had no initiative or momentum, and I think Detective didn't manage to push that home particularly well, but it also does seem to be more equal than I thought. I suspect there might be 2 more villages that we can't see, one in the east and one in the south. I think Detective sent a unit to the east a while ago, so I suspect he may have found another village or a ruin in the east, but we'll see. So Detective healed instead of capturing, which meant that the defender couldn't kill it, basically.
Yeah, it was 1 health from killing. But now that warrior can just siege here next turn. You should be able to
Yep.
set that up. I mean, with Detective's unit in the east, it's not so clear for him without vision, but
Yeah, and it's going to
Looking
be
promising.
Detective's going to have to be careful not to lose his central city here as well, because there's a siege threatened next turn.
Yeah, a couple of different sieges.
So it looks like Chris has done well here. There's the unit that went down to the east a long time ago. It doesn't look as though it's found a village. One thing that's interesting is Detective went for riding before upgrading his capital or second city, I think. So he may have been at a slight economic disadvantage from the beginning. Chris, yes. Yeah, but Detective went for riding, I think, as his first tech. Yeah, I think it would have been interesting if Chris had gone for archers there. I think I would have preferred that personally. But the riders have momentum now. His cities are protected to produce units from. And it looks like... Yeah, that was... Yeah, almost a completely wasted tech at the time. Oh, there's the village. So I'm not sure how Detective didn't find it, because his defender was there for a couple of turns, I think. A few turns. So it looks like there's still 3 unclaimed villages on turn 11. I suspect there's one in the south. There has to be one in the south, actually. And then one in the east. And it looks like Detective will take 2 of them. The one in the south and the one in the east. But whether he can keep the one in the east, it might be challenging. But this is somewhere where I quite like archers. If Chris had managed to build up archers, he would be really threatening these shields at the moment. Yeah, I don't know whether... The thing is, they don't lead to anything directly without the killer monument, which will be... I'm not sure how many kills they're on. I don't think Chris has been checking. But that will be the next interesting point, is the first giants. Oh. I think that's just as communist society.
The truly Discord addicted man hears a ping and needs to go check it out immediately in the middle of the game.
He's gonna lose his 2 minutes. Is
it his turn right now?
Is he? What's going on?
Is he checking all of his pings?
Chris
Go back to the game, man. Go back to the game.
Okay. All right. Let's see what the... Oh, okay. Damn.
You can go Math Giant here, right? You can like siege and Math Giant.
Yeah. A siege. Yeah, I mean, catapults would be quite interesting here, actually. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, he's got exactly enough for Math Giant on his capital. Then they can like chop some for like his Park of Fortune on that new city for level 3 and like some stars there.
Yeah.
Okay, he decided not to siege though. I'm disappointed.
So a siege where?
We could have sieged that. Oh, that's walled. There's a wall. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Forget what I
That's
said.
a new wall. Yeah, I'm interested in his movements though. I'm not sure what his thoughts are. He should be able to take the East City, especially now that he's got maths. I think it would be interesting for him to set up a catapult in his capital, which he should be able to protect quite happily, just by killing the warrior.
He doesn't have any units to cure that warrior anymore. I mean, eventually he'll get it though.
No, but I wonder whether he was, next turn, for example.
Yeah.
But he should be looking at a. I think he's calculating his giant. He's definitely over the 2 minute mark, but
We've got nice, nice. Let's get it.
is he
King
going to
of
go for expanded borders? It's not bad, but I don't know whether he can get a second giant for it.
we can because he's got the two forests next to him.
Yeah, but can he get a second giant, or is it
Second.
just a more expensive first giant?
I'm not too worried about second giant to be honest. I think his biggest priority should be the getting giant and then being able to also upgrade his new city and train some units.
No, I agree. I was just thinking, his calculation of expanding borders or not rests upon, what's the point of expanding borders if it doesn't get you a second giant?
Second giant capital. Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, because
Um,
with one star chop, you're almost never going to have enough forests to chop to make it worth it on stars.
no, exactly. So he lost a couple of stars there by expanding. But honestly, it was it was the wrong turn for him to be checking Discord, because that was by far the most complicated turn, considering the sawmill spots and that kind of thing.
The upside to road play for him, I mean, riding play for him, is that he has better access to roads
True.
for giant, as well as further range on his units, like the one tile more that his riders can move as opposed to an archer and attack.
True.
Plus, he does have the since he went math, he's got the ranged units from catapults.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah, they're not the same, obviously, and he's missing out on that forest defense bonus. But
Yeah, I think with archers he could have taken the east already, but I don't think that's a huge. I think he will get it eventually, so I don't think it's a huge deal. I'm interested as to why he sent his defender towards the capital. I thought he might send it south to put some pressure on in the south, to try and cut off that
well,
third
right
village.
now he just doesn't have anything trained on that capital, which it's just nice to have a defender there. Like they have to constantly think about their unit that they're gonna keep on their
Yeah,
capital. Plus, it is nice because it effectively lowers the siege threshold from 3 units to 2 because your defender just
sure, but he doesn't have anything sort of anywhere near. So I'm just
yeah. I think
interested.
the biggest reason for that is just so that um he's keeping he needs it forces detective to keep something there on trained on that city.
Yes, yeah, I suppose. What I think is interesting is that Chris has org, forestry, climbing, maths, and hunting. It's not clear what techs detective has, so I would laugh if we saw some cloaks, but I'm not sure what he's been spending his money on.
Yeah, especially seeing these villages that still have no lumber huts. I
Yeah,
mean animals and or fruits.
that catapult's pretty interesting.
He's got a
Definitely.
catapult on that south city, and he's going all in for a catapult roads play over the southeast city.
But that catapult threatens siege on both the east and the central city, which is huge.
Yeah, it's a great position for the catapult. Unfortunately, it's also on top of that city. I think he Park of Fortunes to Math Giant there.
Yeah.
No, he could do that without the. I was looking at that. That's why he went for border growth, but he could have done that without border growth.
Yeah, and he can get a giant in the southeast in his third city without anything else.
I guess it allows him to chop the forest. Like, no,
True.
no, it doesn't. Never mind. I mean, I guess if he went roads, but that's getting a little out there.
See, yeah, I'm really interested as to where Detective Stars have gone. Because Chris managed to afford. I guess Chris did get a. Oh, that's big. Chris did get a 10-star ruin, which is pretty huge. And I don't think we've seen either of their killer monuments yet, have we?
No, I think it's just that they've been He's been playing really low eco just because he went riding first tech, and then he wasn't able to expand into any cities.
Yeah.
I think like all his stars may have been just like sunk into units for a while.
Oh.
Okay.
So he must have gone all in on that roads play on the catapult. But I imagine that was pretty expensive. It would have cost him 12 stars just for the roads tech, unless he had it already.
Yeah, I think he can Chris can move his 1 health catapult. Like, I don't know where that rider. Yeah, it went to the giant. It's dead now. Like, move a
Yeah, he can go
catapult
north
south,
or
catapult on the
south.
southeast city, like siege the south one and work on the east one. Like the
Yeah,
east one
yeah, yeah.
doesn't have anything backing it up, so
Can he make a giant here? I don't think so.
drops the Park of Fortune on there. Yeah, but
Oh, of
like
course. He hasn't used that yet.
Border Growth and Roads gets him a giant here because he gets free population from the two lumber huts. I really
Yeah,
want to like catapult on that southeast city because
I
like
think
he's
he's. I wonder whether he thought that he could. I guess he's cutting off movement options there, but I'm not sure. That doesn't get you a giant.
that was a poor. Oof.
No, I think he might have expanded borders, just assuming he had enough to get a giant, and then didn't actually sort of work it through. He still has his. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's a couple extra stars sunk there.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. I think he's in a decent position this
No, I
game.
think so. I think so. He's got two giants. It looks like Detective spent a lot of stars on the on the roads play last turn, so I don't think he's about to whip out maths anytime soon. Otherwise, he would have done it a couple of turns ago.
Also, really nice that he's got vision on all of his cities, so like no knights or anything for these kind of units he's training.
Or cloaks, or cloaks.
Yeah, I am wondering if because he can train up to 5 daggers on his capital, right? Like if he did that this turn.
But he still has the giant, right? So I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Uh, we've got a cracking heavy chat here.
We always do.
That's why we don't have any free agent tokens because we just bought the entire league.
Come out to support our boy Chris. And I guess Flame was kind of a kraken. It would have been interesting if Flame had won. Where would the fats have gone?
Novas.
He's a
The
mallard.
Nova recruiting team needs all the fats they can get.
Yeah, Profit and Flame win.
Boers can now buyback the team players.
So it's only a matter of time before he can grab that central city. Is there any kind of comeback that Detective can do here? He does have one more city currently, but I just don't see any options for him. But I have called this game twice in favour of Detective already, so I'm not going to trust myself too much.
I kind of think Chris has this game on lockdown.
Yeah, he's got roads now. Deprived that ruin. That's looks pretty GG. Unless a 10 cloaks suddenly spawn around the capital.
He spawns one cloak in his capital, and he spawns another. The funny thing about with expanded borders and cloaks is that when the daggers come in, they'll go to the like outside of the city borders, so not immediately touching the city.
I have to confess, I have no idea how cloaks work still. So
The problem with learning about cloaks is that I'm never going to play them in any of my games.
They're actually really good. So in my 3v3s, I've been spamming cloaks. In my free-for-alls, I've been spamming cloaks. But I'm still not quite sure how they work. I've been getting wrecked by Guardian, I think he's Dragon's Junior, in a free-for-all with cloaks.
I was really disappointed because my 1v1 with Guardian, he like made a mistake on like turn 2. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't win now because I'm playing Elo Champ Ina, who never makes a single mistake. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And he resigned turn 4 before it got interesting. I'm like, I feel cheated out of a game.
That's my mistake. All I need to do is beat Elo Champ, and then I get a free win.
That's what Champ difference, baby.
Elo Elite just doesn't cut it. Alright. This...
I forgot how like stupid walled defenders are.
Oh, Wani, you're in the chat. You know, I got Eye of God against you in our recent Barda 1v1. I think it's the only time in a game I've ever got the Eye of God monument.
Fair enough, fair enough. You trying to like sneak that warrior in within his capital 5x5 vision and borders?
It's to back up the 3 cloaks he has surrounding the capital right
Yeah.
now.
Like a cloak on that catapult city would be kind of nasty, but
Yeah, with the giants, it doesn't feel like the cloaks threaten anything serious.
it seems like he's got enough units around that Chris is able to take the both east and south, like siege both those cities next turn.
And order center, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's difficult because you're not allowed to use a calculator for bullet, right? So it's difficult to know. I have no idea how walled defenders work, other than they're a complete pain. Oh, you can.
Used to not be able to, and like Vapo and would be reffing games and like very serious about policing that. But now we're like, I mean, if you want to use a calculator, go ahead. It just eats into your time, and if you time out because of it, that's on you.
My game seems to be crashing quite a lot too. Is this something that other people have had?
Yeah, for sure. Every
Okay.
time I tell someone that my game is crashing, I feel like they're gonna be like, "Wow!" Every time his game crashes, he wins. Elite hackers.
Wait, I got scared then because I entered the game and it was on like 0. Okay, there we go. Fair play to detectives.
So
Chris,
there's some coding stuff.
yeah, Chris definitely went over 2 minutes earlier. But fair play to detective.
Detective
Alright,
doesn't
what we
call
got
it
going on?
good.
Ooh,
This is Chris versus DetectiveDumb.
what is what? What is this game?
It's been a good game. Detective.
It's over now, right?
Yeah, it's over now, but unless the cloaks come out. But Detective beat Chris to that central village, and I thought that was pretty game over. But what do I know?
Wait, which center village? Are you talking about the one that has the border growth?
In between
That
their
one that just-
capitals.
Oh,
the one that
yeah.
just got sieged.
The one he's seeing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, you have to
Obviously, there
think
is
that
much.
gross for him to go, really.
There is pretty good village distribution on Chris's side. Detective's pretty far from a third village.
Makes sense.